Hey, welcome to Construction Update, where we count down the 10 top stories that contractors are reading this week. I'm Larry Stewart with 4 Construction Pros.
And I'm Jonathan Kozlowski with Concrete Contractor.
Right into the list, number 10, HEIDELBERGCEMENT sells its U.S. West business to Martin Marietta Materials for $2.3 billion. Sale of the Lehigh-Hanson business in the West is expected to allow HEIDELBERGCEMENT to develop North American regions in Canada, Midwest, the Northeast, and South through acquisition. The global materials giants really need to have strength in North America to stay giants. And Dr. Dominic von Achten, chairman of the Heidelberg board, is quoted as saying, "We are simplifying our portfolio in North America and prioritizing the strongest market positions. Our engagement for North America remains stronger than ever," end quote. Just not in the West.
Yeah, it's a big move, but I think it positions them to be a little bit more profitable, and hopefully it's profitable for the new acquiring company. Admitting that the bill will not be perfect, Senator Shelley Moore Capito and Senator Tom Carper spoke about the soon-to-be unveiled framework for the reauthorization for the Surface Transportation Funding Bill. Capito reassures that what she sees in the bill is what people in the construction industry have asked for, such as flexibility, permitting relief, a formula for funding, and making sure highway dollars are being spent as wisely as possible.
Number 8 on the list, how telematics solutions are aiding equipment rental. A report from IntelliShift, the 2021 State of Connected Operations report, Customer Highlights and Trends, right off the tongue, shared how 90% of companies say technologies like telematics improve safety, efficiency, productivity, and cost savings, and allow them to focus their time on the company's bottom line. This story includes a list of some of the latest telematics solutions and insights into how that technology can be integrated best into rental businesses.
And number 7 features a report from the McKinsey Global Institute claiming some pretty significant benefits for the construction companies to integrate more digitization. The report claims that investment in digitization while continuing to embrace new materials and advanced automation, construction companies could see a 50 to 60 increase in productivity. The story offers some examples of a few areas such as time tracking, safety training, payroll, and going paperless. One company even saved over $140,000 annually by utilizing a mobile workforce app to collect live field data.
Number 6 on the list, industry and labor urged Biden to keep steel tariffs amid escalating steel prices. So 7 of the leading groups representing the domestic steel industry and labor are urging President Biden to ensure steel tariffs are preserved, citing ongoing investments in steel production. Domestic steel production expanded more than 50% in the last year, and steel mill employment grew by nearly 3,000. Since the tariffs took effect, U.S. steel producers announced plans to invest more than $15.7 billion in facilities. Tariffs are either smart policy if today's steep demand curve settles into a strong ongoing market, or dangerous protectionism if it's a fragile bubble.
It's crazy how much material shortage affects so many different aspects and segments in the industry.
Short-term prices are really being affected by those tariffs, and it's just really a matter of whether or not we're setting up a sustainable steel industry or building up for a bubble.
At 5 is a story on the Surface Transportation Reauthorization Act. According to the American Roads and Transportation Builders Association, the legislation would boost investment for roads by 34%, setting a new baseline funding level at a historic high of $303.5 billion for core highways, distributing 90% of the funds by formula to states over its 5-year life. The story at forconstructionpros.com includes a link to find a full breakdown of a proposed funding for your state.
Number 4 on the list is buy or rent. 5 questions to ask yourself. Spending on construction equipment rental continues to grow strongly, with 93% of contractors responding to American Rental Association surveys recently saying that they rented equipment in 2019. A Caterpillar machine application specialist offers 5 key factors to consider when determining which machines to rent and which ones to buy.
Recognizing the impact of and responding to changing trends in construction, many concrete technologies have emerged in recent years to tackle carbon reduction in concrete products. Kelly Roberts, a principal in Walter P. Moore's structural group, writes about a few examples of emerging technologies that reduce embodied carbon. You know, Larry, she writes one interesting figure. If construction trends continue, we will likely double the square footage of the built environment by 2050. With buildings accounting for 40% of the global greenhouse gas emissions, it's easy to see the impact of a sustainable design and construction could have on the future of our climate.
Yeah, I know I always underestimate what population growth and lifting third world economies up, that impact that's going to have on global construction volume. It's just amazing, the numbers.
Yeah. I think it'll be interesting to see whether or not that square footage will double this way in building more buildings or building higher buildings.
Yeah, I got to think it's going to be both. There's just not that much real estate. Yeah, so number 2 on the list is take a deep dive into the high-performance Ford Lightning electric pickup truck. The electric F-150 is a mobile power supply, office, and high-performance vehicle offered in a familiar packaging. It's like its high-performance namesake. It'll accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in the mid 4-second range. This story gets into how 775 foot-pounds of nearly instantaneous torque and full-time 4-wheel drive impact performance, as well as how the company is getting up to 300 miles of range with a level of performance few petroleum-powered pickups can claim.
I dig the name, and hey, Ford, if you're looking for somebody to test drive it, I'm right here. The most popular story from this past week on FordConstructionPros.com is why the Hernando de Soto Bridge, which carries the I-40 highway across Mississippi River between the Tennessee and Arkansas, was shut down on May 11th, causing truckers to take an alternate route costing $2.4 million per day for the detour. Engineers from the Arkansas Department of Transportation discovered a fractured support beam during a routine inspection. However, and here's the big part, further investigation into the matter revealed that the damage to the bridge had been visible and evident as far back as 2016. Repair work had begun on May 19th, and it's continuing, and it's set for 2 phases. The bridge is closed until further notice and will only reopen once complete. River traffic has already resumed, having opened on May 14th. The inspector who missed the crack has since been fired. And finally, it's the location of the crack itself. The bridge itself features 2 pairs of arched trusses forming an elongated M shape like this. The mechanical fracture appears just off the center underneath the bridge.
The initial press on this came out with the word crack describing this thing. And when you see the photo with the story, it's broken. There's a crack involved. So that's our list for this week. We thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, John.
Thank you.